This used to be Bill Lee's room, so I can be funny. And in his honor, I don't know if you ever knew him or not, but he was hysterical most of the time. First of all, I'm going to get the folks that have bills that are not mine out of the way. Ms. Clark, if you'll come first. House Bill 1117, if you will explain your bill.
I will, sir. Mr. Chairman, thank you, and members of this committee, I bring for your consideration House Bill 1117, and this is a population bill that would preserve the current schedule of conducting referenda on general obligation bonds, and this would be for Gwinnett County and most of all for our school system. This would preserve the current schedule of conducting referenda, and both the school and the county are authorized to hold a referendum on any date that the governing body votes to approve, but because of the 2010 census, Gwinnett moves into a population bracket governing Fulton County, and Gwinnett would be restricted to only holding these elections at the November general election. Since we are at 808,000, we ask you please to allow us to change the code from 800,000 to 900,000 that would allow the county and the schools to operate as they have in the past.
Okay. Any questions, members of the committee? So I'm going to ask you, where are you from?
I am coincidentally, sir, from Gwinnett County.
So you're in Gwinnett?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That always helps to know where you're from.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Especially in these bills. Okay. So you're trying to move Gwinnett into the Fulton.
No, sir. Keep it from hitting the Fulton mark. In other words,
you don't want to be in this?
Correct. We don't want to be in the Fulton mark.
I just make sure I understand.
Yes,
you don't
sir.
want to be in that. Understand that these bills are now unconstitutional.
Yes, sir.
They were moved into this by grandfather clause, and I wish we just do away with all of them, but let me explain to you what this amounts to. The old Fulton bill was designated for Fulton. Okay, that's what it was designated for. Gwinnett was never intended to be in that, and that's what you're saying to this committee.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so basically your delegation, which this is a general bill, but your delegation is not for this, and your county commissioners and city commissioners and school boards, they're not for this either. Is that
Sir,
correct?
that's correct.
That you know of.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
Any questions of any other members of the committee? I always like to ask that question because we'll get everybody on the same sheet of music. Okay.
Mr. Chair, it does say in any future such census, so that's you're saying from henceforth, as long as you're at that 900,000 threshold.
So,
but that's going to change. So.
I can try to help her on that if you want me to. That's the way it has to be worded. Some way legislative council can do it because it has to be worded because it's been delineated as a grandfathered bill. It has to go back to the original form, and that's the only way they can word it. I found that out in my little bit of ability of legal services. Any other questions? Does that answer it? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if there are no further questions, I recommend do pass.
Okay, we have a motion to pass. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, state aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, you can carry this, Representative Clark, on the rules. We'll give you a rules form. We like to do that over here. And
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. I feel well taken care of, sir.
All right. You're handled.
Thank you.
He'll just sign it.
All right. On House Bill 1152, that's Representative Amerson. In the words of Bill Lee, he has snatched this thing back. And so he is not going to present this. So we won't have to deal with this. I want to state to you folks from this bill, this was a alcohol bill, has to deal with alcohol. This committee would have had to handle this as a general bill had they wanted us to handle it. Distilled spirits by the Rule 50 are not be considered as local bills, anything that has to do with that, so it has to be a general bill. Really and truly, this needed to go to regulated industry. I don't know what happened, but it's snatched, so it's gone, so we don't have to worry about that one. Okay, that's one down. Okay, classmate,
Yes, sir.
if you'll come on up, this is my classmate.
Yep, 1997.
Ms. Hudson's going to be handling the bill for Senator Jackson over in the 24th,
Yep.
and I'll let you present Senate Bill 413.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I bring to the committee Senate Bill 413, which very plainly makes the office of probate court in Glasscock County nonpartisan.
Okay, any questions? This is one of those partisan bills. We handle them as general bills in this side of the House. The other
One
side-
further comment, I did
Yes, ma'am.
require her to get approval from the commissioners.
Okay,
So she did do that.
Actually, Ms. Hudson, you don't have to do that
I
because
know.
she is a constitutional officer.
I
She has
understand.
that right to make that decision, even above theirs. I don't. That one doesn't necessarily. I'm glad you did, but
I just do that to be careful.
I understand. They don't pay her though. They just
That's
they
right.
have to pay her.
That's right.
All right. Again, this is just a change from partisan to nonpartisan. Any questions?
For one county.
All right, we got to do pass. Do I have a second?
One second.
Okay, do we have any discussion? All in favor of the bill, state by saying aye. All opposed? You can carry that one to rules.
Thank you very much.
Once that one's through now, that one goes to the governor, okay? Because it's already passed the Senate. Okay, I'm going to turn the mic over to Ms. Tankersley and let her chair.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to call on Chairman Sims to present House Bill 119.
House Bill
1119.
1119.
I knew I'd get it out.
This is basically I've got 3 in a row on changing partisan and nonpartisan elections. Everybody down there has decided that they want to be nonpartisan in my 2 counties. They've run me, both of them, all 3 of them are women. They've all run me about the head and neck, beat the fool out of me, so now we're going to get it done. We didn't do it last year because we didn't have time. And they said if I didn't get it done this year, I need not come home. So the first one is the probate court of Atkinson County. The judge is Ms. O'Brien. She'd asked me personally to see if I could take care of this for her, and I said I would. All it does is just take her out of the primary election and put her in the general election. That's all it does.
Thank you, Chairman Sims. Do we have any questions? If there are no questions, I'd call for a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. It's passed. Do we vote? Okay, I'd like all those in favor to say aye. Those opposed, same sign. The motion is passed.
Okay, we got that one now.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on,
Because that's when you're going to take off. That's 13. We're not running this year.
Said the other one.
Did it? Well, they running, that might be running or something. We're not running next year.
okay,
They don't start.
at this time, I'd like to call on Chairman Sims to present House Bill 1120.
This is the same general procedure. This has to do with our magistrate court judge, Ms. Hilda James. She's been down there about 25 years in the same position. She'd asked me to do this for last year, get a chance to do it. We just ran out of time. And again, all it does is change her from a partisan to nonpartisan election.
Do we have any questions from any committee members? Hearing no questions, I would call for a motion. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of passage of this bill, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Okay. Last but not least, this is our magistrate judge on number, I'll do 1121. It's just the same
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
Same procedure. Our magistrate judge, Judge Osteen over in my county in Coffee, asked to be in a nonpartisan, and election, and that's all this does, is change her from partisan to nonpartisan.
Do we have any questions from any committee members?
That's your hometown, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Any further questions? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 1121 out of this committee, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, it's passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm switching the mic back over. Ward, can you give us an indication of how many bills have actually come out of here so far?
General or local?
Just local right now. Can you give me an estimate?
I want to say probably about 130 to 50. I don't know any more specificity than that.
And we've got about 20 on
We've
for
had
them.
about 230 something so far.
Right.
Through.
Okay. We're moving them on, and of course, Ward does the yeoman's work in this committee. We're trying to get all this stuff together, and I just want to thank him and Terry. Terry does the other part of the yeoman's work of trying to get us squared up on getting it right. So I want to tell y'all thank you personally for the committee too. My next thing I want to ask is on general bills, how many are we planning on seeing any more?
This, I think, catches us up. I
Okay.
don't think we got any today.
Okay. Understand that these general population bills are kind of being spread around a little bit, but I think we'll end up with some more. There are several more that are out there pending. We won't handle tax bills or liquor bills. I found that out, so I was kind of worried about that anyway. That's just none of our business. I'd rather somebody else handle those anyway. The only other thing is that if you haven't got your bills done, you need to get them on board and remind people that sit around you that if you hadn't got your local bills done, you need to go on and get them done as soon as possible, and try not to argue a lot. We've got several that are out there arguing. So, and we got some we've got to hold till they get straightened out, but until then we're moving. Any questions of any members of the committee? Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Steve.